Hey guys, I want to take a little time today and talk about what is probably, and I have to say probably because I've gone back and forth on this, but it is my number one in pocket favorite. If I had to get rid of all my knives, would I keep this one? With the caveat, yes, this is my number one, and I've had it and lived with it for over a year. It's the Liong Mah Field Duty EDC. And for an EDC, guys, for my medium to regular sized hand, this knife absolutely feels like it was made for it. From the choil all the way down to the regular part of the handle. This knife, again, is, I don't even know where to start. I mean, we can start with the ergos and the way that this knife was designed, kind of as an EDC knife. The handle is very neutral. It is a frame lock knife, Elmax steel, titanium with G10. And it's got some nice jimping that goes all the way up to where you have your finger placement, whether you're using the choil or whether you are not. But the action on this knife is absolutely sick. I don't know if you can hear that sound through the camera, but knives do make certain sounds, and this is one that is probably as satisfying to flick as any I own. And I said there was a caveat because this knife, for the longest time, without a doubt, was my number one. And it's still, when I look at it and I think about the other knives in my collection, there's only one knife that even threatens it. And, I hate to make fun or talk about other knives, and this is not the time or the place for that. But there are knives that have a very similar sound, that have a very similar size, that feel that they were kind of designed for my hand too. And they're trying very hard to steal the title away from this guy. But for right now, and as I show you guys, the Liong Mah Field Duty EDC is an absolute fantastic specimen. Um, One thing I'll share with you guys is Liong also has a budget brand that he has started to release some knives from. The first were at Blade Show, the Trinity, which was the model of the Utotech, or you can go back and look at my video. I did a video on one of his budget knives, but one of the three that he is releasing looks very similar to this pattern of this knife. I have kind of steered away from spending money on knives that I'm not going to really fall in love with, so I try to put that money back, and instead, when a knife comes along that I really want to grab, I don't feel as guilty grabbing it. But in this case of Eutectic, I think is the way it's pronounced, Eutectic, the one that looks like the Field Duty, I will be hard pressed not to get that knife and check it out. So just to give you all a quick idea of the size comparisons of the Liong Mah Field Duty, let's look at it next to the Cold Steel 4MAX. It's going to be smaller than the 4MAX. Look at it next to the Wee Baby Banter, or the Civivi Baby Banter. Going to come in larger than the Civivi Baby Banter. Let's see how it is next to our Bug Out. It's right around the same size as the Bug Out, which is going to put it a little bit smaller than the PM2, but that gives you a good size comparison through some knives, or compared to some knives that I know you've had some experience with, and around the same size as the Bug Out. One thing that I will show you and that I do really like about this knife is it is, of course, thicker than the Bug Out. And one thing that this Liong Mah Field Duty has is a unibody construction. So whether you chose a carbon fiber or you chose the G10, the carbon fiber is, or the G10 is milled out of a solid piece that then joins with the titanium to give you, I think, a lot of the reason for the sound and the acoustics that you have with this knife. But again, unibody construction is what they call that. It's the Liong Mah Field Duty. I can highly recommend it. If you can find one for sale, which they come up from down on the secondary, grab one if you like it. Do some research on it, and keep in mind or an eye out for Eutectic, which is going to be Liong's budget brand, which is going to have a knife that looks very similar to that. So guys, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Love each other. Move forward in debate, not hate. Love y'all. Peace.